Well, hey everybody, I'm the Crockett Coon'er, and this is the Crockett Coonhound Show. And guys, I'm out here on the boat trailer project again, and today we're fixing to pack the hubs and things. Now, some developments for everybody that's been following me on the boat trailer project here. Stuff has happened. I found out things. I'm going to show you guys something. So, after the hubs and everything were sandblasted, primered, and painted, it's been a good about 2 or 3 weeks, guys. And what it amounted to was I had a lot of other projects with the gardening and all kinds of things, but I wanted to definitely get our wheels and stuff back on our trailer once we get the hubs on, maybe touch a little of this up with some rattle can paint and things. But guys, I did not know. After we did a little sandblasting and things, I looked on the back of these hubs and I noticed there was a date for everybody that would be interested kind of in how old this thing is. And on the back of the hubs, it says 2/27/92. So that'll make it, what, about 31 years old, I believe. And I would think that's about right, guys. But I made a trip today up to Napa, originally looking for our grease seals in the back, guys. And that's what I love about Napa. We're not endorsed by them in any way, and we don't endorse them. But they seem to always have stuff that you want, guys. Now, the fellow working behind the counter in there, I took one of the hubs with me. I took the grease seals with me. And I said, hey, man, you know, I'm rebuilding this. I'm going to turn this lawnmower trailer into a boat trailer. He goes, going to be backed in the water a lot. And I said, yes, it is. And I said, I need the front caps, and I'm also going to need the grease seals on the back of the hubs. Well, he started looking around, guys, and he sold me some kits and things. And actually, after we did a little price checking, it was cheaper to go ahead and buy it. So hopefully, because I didn't have the bearings with me, hopefully these new bearings will fit. Now, I have already been out here before I got the camera going, guys. I have cleaned up all of our spindles on both sides and things, cleaned off the washer, cleaned up the crown nut and stuff. Wanted to mention something. This particular kit comes with a different type of washer, guys, and I hadn't seen one of these in a long time. And for anybody that's never seen one of them, let me get this out of the pack here if I can. Oh, I hope I can. Well, isn't that always the way? It's packed up really tight, guys. I may have to go in there and get us a box cutter. Now, here we go. Maybe I can just get it by itself. I'm going to hold this up here. I'm going to show it to you guys for a minute. Now, if you see this thing, maybe it's kind of difficult to see. I'll try to get it over there a little more and zoom in when I edit this. What this is, guys, is called a tang washer. Now, on a lot of axles, and our axle is not like this. Ours is completely round, uses a Carter key through it. Actually, the kit comes with the new Carter keys. But on some axles, you do have a spot right here where the threads are, guys, that is milled off flat. And what you would do is literally put the bearing on, the outer bearing, then this would go inside of the crown nut. The whole shooting match would tighten up on there, and then you'd bend these ears up, but we won't be using those. But hopefully, and I know about as much as you guys do, hopefully the bearings in these packs will work, and we have upgraded to something. Now, like I said, I did take the hubs with me. We did need the outside caps and things, and luckily, up at Napa, they had the new caps, and these are the type, guys, with the Zerk grease fittings there in the end of them. So that is really good. That means that I can go ahead. I've already put Marina application grease in our grease gun. I'm going to use my hands, pack up the bearings. We've got to put the races and all back in the hubs, and then we're going to try to put everything back together, guys. But that is something I didn't mention to you guys. Now, let me find out which one it is. I believe, nope, it's this other one. Now, for everybody that's followed along, we do know that at one point in time, they had overloaded this little trailer, or something happened about that side over there. Guys, I didn't get it on film when I was doing it, But I went inside the shop and was getting ready to tap out the inner races of the old bearings and things. I've still got it in case these don't work. Those are still good. They just need to be cleaned. But when I set this down on the concrete floor, guys, and I reached in there, I literally just took the edge of a screwdriver and kind of pushed the race. And I noticed that's weird. It felt funny. And I flipped it over and the race had turned sideways. So, you know, we discovered when we took this apart, it had two different types of bearings in it. I don't know if those are still in good shape. The cages of them are not hurt or anything, but they do seem to be a bit wore, not that bad. I would think after they overloaded it, they went back and changed the bearings then, but they didn't quite fit just right. You know, you need to put the race in and tap it in, and the compression fit needs to hold it in there. But hopefully these new bearings that I've got are going to work. I am fixing to find out. I'm going to move the camera around a little bit. May go ahead, drive the races in and stuff, and see if they will fit. And I will be right back with you guys. Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys can't see me, but we are now on hub number 2. Went over there, checked our bearings. Sure enough, they'll fit. Let's see how this one looks as far as going in. There we go. Yeah. What I like to do, guys, is barely tap mine, and then I usually find me a board, drive it as far as I can. Now, when I put the races in, guys, I usually use some kind of an oil. I don't really, ooh, that can's almost empty. I don't really ever use anything like grease to put the races in because I want mine in there really, really tight. But what I sometimes do is take the old races, I'll flip them upside down, put them in here like so, drive it on home. That way, whenever I'm hitting, I don't really mar up the inside of the races. But I'm going to finish this up, and then we're going to start packing some bearings. We have got the races in. The new ones are in there. They look pretty doggone good. Now, what we're going to do is get ready to pack the bearings, guys. I don't have a can of marina grease, but I did load up the grease gun with some marina grease. I just start off by going ahead and putting it on the spindle, guys, and getting everything slick so that when I put the new bearings on, they'll go. I'm also a big fan of grease. I have been known to overpack them before, guys, but on the other side, while we're doing this, I've done something special over there with the races. I'm going to show you when we get over there. But the way I do it, guys, I go to the back side of the bearing, and I try to drag it through the grease, hoping that every time I do, I see grease come out by the rollers, and that way it hacks it full, guys. And if you do it right, you can literally almost get it all off your hands. I see people all the time wearing gloves. I can understand why they do. But yeah, that's usually how I pack them. I've seen people pack bearings many different ways before, guys. I've seen people put them in bags and shake them with grease and all kinds of things. But really, a mechanic told me one time you can actually kind of overdo with the grease a little bit. Now, one other thing I like to try to do is get everything in there and turn it by my hand and kind of work a little of it in. But I'm going to make sure it's lubed up really, really good, guys. And when I get done, I'm going to go back to our new caps and things, and I'm going to just literally pump them full. But while I am packing these, I can go ahead and tell you guys a little bit about what I did on the other side. Now, you know, we know that this trailer has been overloaded, and I didn't show it to you on film, guys. But when I took the old races out, one of them literally almost fell out of the hub, and I got over there and inspected it real good, guys. I drove the new race in, and it was loose, and I thought, let me really look at this and compare it to the other side. And what had happened was the old race must have actually worn a groove inside of that hub. So what I've done is I've stacked the races. That's something that another mechanic showed me, an old mechanic showed me years ago. And basically what it'll do, it might move the hub out just a little bit, but it will keep the new race from going too far into the hub or walking around. But I'll show you guys when we get over there. Let me get me a few paper towels here. Oh, just kind of hang that baby right there for a second so I can pick up the new one. And we will get to packing the next one. Wow, it's got windy out here on me today, guys. Let's see if I can get that one in pretty good. Oh, yep. I believe that'll do it. I'm fixing to take a little grease on the gun while I'm at it. Load up the inside of it before I put the grease cap on. Yep, good old Marina grease right there, guys. I went ahead and cleaned out the grease gun, did it the other day, and made sure that what we were looking at, get some inside that race while I'm at it, was definitely approved to go in the water, everybody. Because like I said, this is going to be a boat trailer. We're going to back it down in there and everything into the water and submerge it. And the fellows that make the grease said, hey, this is what you need to last going in the water like that. I'm going to get over here, guys. I'll move the camera again. And we are going to take a new seal, put it in the back of this hub, and almost put it in by hand. Yep. Tap it just a little bit. Everything should be all right. Give me just a second, guys, and I'll be back with you. We're going to do the outer bearing. Went ahead, just slid it on. We've got our new grease cap back there. I'm going to pack this front one right quick, and then we're going to move around and do the other side in a minute. We've got to go ahead and put our crown nut and things on. But I do believe it's going to work out pretty good, guys, even though the little trailer had showed that it was, you know, a bit overloaded at one time. I don't think it's going to matter all that much. I don't. It's still in really good shape. It's a lot better now since we've cleaned it up and everything. Let's hope I got that packed down pretty good. I need a little more grease on it in my hand. Oh, man. Little side note here while I'm sitting here packing these, guys. Let me tell you what happened to the old Coon'er the other night. So, came outside, guys, to do a little lawnmower repair. That's right, working on a weed eater, actually. And I looked up into the night sky and I saw something. I saw the satellites. The satellites that were passing over Alabama and Tennessee that are the Starlink satellites. And I looked up in the sky and I thought, what is that? At first I thought it was the Dipper. And come to find out, it was Starlink. And it was really a sight to see, folks. If you've never seen it, they were spaced out just perfectly through the air and things. Lit up. And it looked like they were, from the ground about a foot long. But I bet if you got up there with them, they stretched out a good mile or two in the sky. Let's see if we can't just pick this one up and slide it in. Are you going to go? Or am I going to have to take you back off? Well, I am going to have to take you back off. Let's try that. Oh no, what has happened here? Oh, I know what's happened. Yep. Oh, we had a dust seal come out. There we go. Now then, are you going to go this time? It's the only bad thing about sandblasting, guys. Even though I covered those spindles a little bit with like a real heavy tape, and I've cleaned everything. Whenever they overloaded the trailer and it's been sandblasted, it sure enough, I believe it caused a little bit of a problem. There we go. Yeah, just fits, guys. Look at that. Got over here to the other side. I know it's going to be kind of hard to see me, but I wanted to show you what I was talking about a minute ago. Now, if you look right here, here's the back of our hub. You can see right here at the end of my finger, try to catch it right, you can see the race. And what had happened is when I drove it in so far, the inside of this hub, apparently one of the old races, when they overloaded this, it wore a groove in this hub, but we can still use it. If you look further down in there, I'm going to try to turn it to where you guys can see it. Right below my finger, I took one of the older races that was still in good shape. I flipped it upside down, drove it in first, and then set the other race on it. Occasionally, you can get away with doing this, guys. They call it stacking the races. Is it recommended? Probably not. Could it be dangerous? Most definitely it could be. But what it will do is keep this new race from running inwards, and it will also put it out here. It'll step it up a little further in the hub to where it doesn't rock back and forth, and it actually makes the bearing run inside the race. So what I did was I used the Owen basically as a spacer. Now, guys, I did, in fact, check the numbers on all of these bearings and things, and the inner and outer bearing are the exact same number and size. For anybody that's wondering, sometimes you get different sizes, especially on older vehicles. But like I said, once again, dragging it through my hand, trying to literally force the grease in between the cage and the inside of the bearing. That way it does get around the rollers. Now, other things for folks that are new, you have different types of, there's ball bearings, and then there's this particular type, which is like the race bearings. I myself prefer these bearings better, but ball bearings, I had them on lots of older vehicles and things. They work just fine. I mean, I had a 50 model truck, well, actually a 55 first series and a 45. All of those had ball bearings in them. Hey, the hub still spun. That's all you can ask for, you know, on something that old. But anyways, guys, got that one in there pretty good and packed. These actually didn't have a lot of cosmoline or anything on them right out of the box. Sometimes they do, and you have to kind of clean off the packing grease in order to get really good quality grease down in there. But let's see here. How's it going to look? Yep, that'll do it. It feels good too, guys. Let me cut the camera off, guys. Get over here. I'm going to put us a grease seal in the back of this one. We'll be good to go for the outside. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am finally back with you. I know on film it was just a second, but it's really been about 45 minutes. Guys, I had to take my bearing that I stacked in there. I had to actually take everything back out, including the new race. I had to take the older bearing that's flipped upside down to take up the space now. Literally grind it till it was about half as thick, clean it all up with brake clean, put it back in. But we got it right this time, guys. Occasionally that happens if you ever have to stack a bearing. When you put the original race back in there flipped, it will be too thick. And what was happening was it was moving our hub out too much, because what we're doing is taking up space, you know, inside this hub, where apparently they had overloaded it and literally wore out the hub. I could just get a new hub, guys, but I don't know where I'd find one. Probably will, but for the time being, it'll work just fine. But we're going to keep on going, guys. I'm going to pack this bearing. We're going to load this back up, and I'm going to show you how I tighten my nuts and things down on something like this. Make sure that the wheel runs true. So, back with you folks. Got the tires mounted, balanced, painted, and everything. Now, what I like to do, guys, is find one of our lug studs. What I'm going to do is put the tire on while I tighten up the crown nut and put the Carter key through. And it's kind of about feeling, guys, because what I am going to do is take these tires back off, and after I get everything mounted right, I am in fact going to take a little rattle can paint, and we're gonna do a little painting here, guys. Make sure everything looks good and has a light coat over it in case I scratched it off. Let me get a few of them started. And I'll show you guys how I do this to make sure that they somewhat run true. I have seen people just tighten them down and do them by feeling, but thought I had it right one time on a pickup truck, guys, and it well, it messed everything up pretty bad. It tore up the new bearings that I put in. I'd tightened them up too tight. But let me see if I can't get another one started here. For the time being, that'll work. Just something to hold it on there good and straight. Get the air impact. Now, guys, what I like to do, make sure our tires running right. I've seen people use adjustables. I'm just using a old pair of pliers here. Oops. If I can actually get it over here where I can hunker down on it a little. I'm going to over tighten this nut, and I can feel the wheel doesn't even really want to turn, guys. Now, let me see if I can tighten her down to the point she almost stops. Yep, see, it'll just barely turn. Now, what I like to do is just back it off a little bit more than that, about right there. Might go just a touch more. One more turn. Let's see how that one feels. There's no play like this in our tire, guys. Now, for our key, oops, just barely, well, it is going to have to be the one tighter. Let's see. That one too tight. Now, that ought to do it. If I could line it up with a hole. Must be getting old, guys. Must be. I can't see as good as I used to. Where is it? There it is. Gonna stick it in and spread it all apart. If I can find my screwdriver, get the pliers out here. That way we do not lose the nut. See if I can get them bent around enough that I can get the cap on. Alright, so I found my board and my hammer, guys, and we can just start her up on there, looking pretty good. It'll help if I rolled the wheel a little bit. There it went. Must have had a little spot in it, guys. Now, come on. Probably help if I had it sitting on the ground. But I do believe I can get it here in a minute. Get it just at the right spot. She should be good and tight. Well, when in doubt, get a bigger hammer, huh? Let's go sideways a little bit. Come on, go. Ah, there it went. Yep. Hey, it squirted out around the side with grease. That way we know we did it right, folks. Does look good, though. I like it. Well, got it on, guys. Filled her up with some grease. As you can see, it's doing pretty good. I like it. It's good and smooth. I don't hear any noises. Tires running straight, not too tight. I'm going to go over here, repeat this same process on the other side. I'm going to probably take this tire, like I said, guys, back off. Touch up the black back there a little bit. Even get the U-bolts that are new that are holding the rear axle on, or holding the axle on. That way we've got a little paint on them, especially if we're going to be backing this back and forth into the water. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there for today with the video. I say it all the time. Stay safe on the water and stay safe in the woods. And if you're like the old Coon'er here and swinging the 3-pound sledgehammer, stay safe doing that, because I hit my finger. I just edited it out. That hurt. Stay tuned here. at the Crockett Coonhound Show, and myself and Scooter will have you folks another video dropping shortly. You guys have a great day.